Uh, this is a different one. So today I've been invited to showcase some of my works to the MBA students at SSN. So I've spent the last night just trying to make a presentation. I slept at around 5:30 and it's currently 7 o'clock. I hope I can clean up on the presentations for a little bit and start my really long journey to SSN. Say hi to Azula. There is Azula. There is Azula. Hello Azula. How are you? How are you? So now I'm on my way to the college. So it's been a 2-hour long commute. I'm already exhausted. I just finished writing all the notes. What is the lecture about? So I'm essentially addressing a bunch of MBA students and they have a course in product design which is very welcome, and I'm essentially gonna be a person who presents a couple of my own projects as case studies. Thereby they can get an understanding of how to go about design process in general and how they can adapt it into their work so that they can benefit from it as well. So yeah, quite a lot of expectations on me and a little difficult, but I think we can handle it. And I've prepared a project on how a typical design process would go, also taking into account how the decision making process goes together. So trying to give a whole gist of how it goes from the initial brief all the way to the final solution that gets pitched. The second project I'm pitching, it's sort of like how to break away from a user-centered focus, which is also a common theme we see in most design products. It gets all centered in users. So how a design process can also aid in a project where the user is not in the focus, ultimately summing up to the point of how the process needs to be held, all in all, at least an introduction to it.
I'd like to welcome you and walk us through the process.
The designer's role is not just to know a small nuance, a small niche, or it's not just about sketching and modeling, making a product look good, but it comes from a slightly narcissistic point of view as a designer. But if I had to summarize what a designer's role is, to oversee the entire product development process, take it all the way from the first day when you start the project in the initial brief, all the way to the product development, the marketing aspect, and maybe even more if the project commands for it. So essentially the role here is to act as a bridge between all the teams that are involved in developing that product. So you're a person who's trying to meet the user expectation, the market needs, and also the technical availability, what is actually plausible. So if the project deals with electronics, if the project deals with manufacturing constraints, as a designer, it becomes your responsibility to learn that and then make it work for you. So these are the earring pieces. So please don't see them. It took me 3 days to sit and stand it. This is the clock issue. And finally, this is the lamp. Takeaway from this particular presentation I would like for you to have is, when you start a project, try to have a framework of a process in mind. So it will enable you to have every stakeholder, every touch point in mind. That will just enable you to create a much solid product with a much better success rate towards it. So yeah, that's been my time. So thank you.
Thank you, Ali. You made me feel like a support actor in a superstar movie. I think it was one of the fantastic design presentations I've ever seen. Personally, all my 25 years, I worked with a lot of designers, and this actually through very different perspectives. And I think nobody could have explained the process better. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was a fantastic presentation. Also, please.
That went so well than I had ever thought. I was nervous. I was thinking I had not enough time to prepare myself. I hadn't had like proper talking point. Once I started talking, it was actually flowing for some reason. I had a great time, and it seemed like after the session, the students also loved it, and like they had a plethora of questions. I was just bombarded with questions. I just loved that whole experience. Overall, I had a great time. I was way too nervous, but now everything is at like full on like high endorphins. So this is a great point to like stop this documentation. That's it. See you.